of like, you're about to go in a place where you've never been, motherfucker, you know? And, you know, we went, I remember one day I was sitting on the couch and in Connecticut where I was living at the time, and on the ticker on the TV, the emergency broadcast system came up. Stay inside, freezing rain, icy conditions, high winds, stay inside. It was like beeping, stay inside. And Goggins was like, this is amazing, man. Let's go for a run. And I'm like, they're telling us the exact opposite, man. They're broadcasting to the whole community to stay inside.
Right.
So we go for a 10-mile run in the blizzard, and we come home, and I lived on a lake, and kids are playing hockey on the lake. So we go down, and he takes his hand, and he moves all the snow off the ice. He gets a boulder, and he breaks the ice, a little hole in the ice with the boulder, and then he takes his hand, and he makes the hole a little bit bigger, and then he jumps in. And then he points at me, and he takes his finger, and he signals for me to jump in. I'm not going in the fucking freezing cold water, because my mother told me as a kid in Long Island, don't go anywhere near the frozen water. If you fall in, you have like a minute, you know?
Right.
He's bathing in it. So, of course, I go in, and he looks at me, he's like, man, you got about 2 to 4 minutes, you're going to get hypothermia. We just went on a run. We got to get you out of the lake. And I go to get out. He goes, you can't get out. He goes, if your skin touches the ice, it's going to stick to the ice like the kid in Christmas Story, his tongue that sticks to the pole, you know? So he puts my shoes back on my hands and picks my ass up and I put my socks on or whatever, and I bear crawl out of the ice, and I run up, and I see my wife looking out the window as I'm running into the house, and we come in, and she says to Goggins, you know, like, what's the medical benefit of jumping in a frozen lake? And he said to her, there's no medical benefit. She's like, this is what your husband signed up for. You know, he's like, I want to see how far he's willing to go to get to his goals. And I was like, fuck, this is going to be some 30 days, man. Jesus.
Wow. What was the toughest thing he made you do?
It was just the consistency of it. You know, it was just like, he went everywhere I went. He shadowed me for 30 days. He went to every business meeting. We flew together. He lived, with my wife and I.
Did you think, like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
This is back in 2010. So this is, yes, I did.
And the book came out 2 years ago?
No, I waited 5 years. I didn't, expect it to ever be a book. It was just like, at all. There was no book being discussed. I kept a little blog about it,
So why'd you do it?
I just felt like there was so much in it. There's so many lessons, and it was funny. Fish out of water, like he's coming into our house. My wife owns Spanx. I mean, like the whole dynamic of this shit was crazy. And I just felt there were a lot of lessons that could be learned through it. And, I just took a shot at it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's a maniac. When he did the podcast, I got here, he showed up super early. And when I got here, he was already with his shirt off doing chin-ups. I was like, I walked into the back where the gym is, and he's in there. I'm like, look at this motherfucker.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Yeah.
He's legit.
But these are all the lessons, like as you're talking about, and you don't know where the nuggets come from. You put yourself in a position for the nuggets to appear. And they don't have to be radical positions like I'm going to go get Goggins or I'm going to go live with a monk. They don't have to be radical. But you put yourself out there like you were saying, and you live a life where those lessons find you.
Yeah. And seek them.
You seek them.
Yeah. Well, Goggins' story is so fascinating because he wasn't that guy. He was fat and out of shape and unmotivated and lazy and, talked openly about the first time he ran. Like he quit. He was supposed to, he ran about 3/4 of a mile, I think he said, and quit. And he was exhausted and just drinking milkshakes and all fucked up. And somehow or another decided he's not going to be that guy anymore and went 180 degrees and became this intensely motivated Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the race. I saw him at the race where he broke all the bones in his feet, I saw him. I participated in that race. It's the first time I saw him. That's how I met him. And 2007. And,
He broke all the bones in his feet?
He was running 100. I was running this race. It was a 24-hour race as a relay team. I was with 4 friends. And the format of the race is, you run a mile, I run a mile, whatever team runs the most amount of miles wins the race. He had no teammates.
That sounds
I'm like,
him.
where's the rest of the team?
That sounds like him.
And he weighed a lot at the time. So, I watched him.
Weighed a lot. Was he bodybuilding at the time?
He was just big, probably weighed 260, 70 pounds, maybe
when
more.
He was deadlifting and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
maybe even more.
So was this the one where he ran 24 hours all around just to show that he could run 100 miles?
Yes.
And he wound up shitting himself and all
Yes.
that? Yeah, he told me about that.
I saw it.
I didn't know he broke all the bones in his feet,
He
though.
broke some bones, yeah.
He didn't even tell me about that. And then he ran a marathon a month later.
Yeah.
He's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
And he was telling me also that
Explain
he did
that to your wife when you say he's coming to live with you.
You don't know my wife. That ain't happening. She's kick us both out.
I just said it really fast. I told Sarah because I flew out to meet Goggins after the race. I cold called him, and my wife asked me how the meeting went. And in the meeting, I realized, like, I kind of wanted to get the secret sauce, like, what the fuck,
Right.
try,